Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, a body found near Egmont Key in St. Petersburg. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission are investigating after a Good Samaritan found that body of that appears to be a male in his 60s around 7:30 this morning. It was just a little more than 2 weeks ago that rescue crews were searching for 64-year-old Fraser Horn, a native of the Cortez village in that area. An avid boater, Horn was reported missing by his wife. The Coast Guard was able to locate his boat by helicopter, but in the end had to call off the search for the missing Horn. Authorities are working diligently to identify the body and notify next of kin. We will bring you updates as soon as they are available. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is investigating an armed robbery at a Sarasota Checkers, and they're hoping you'll have the detail that's necessary to bring this suspect to justice. Witnesses say a man entered the Checkers located on Lockwood Ridge Road around 1 a.m. That person implying that they were armed, though no weapon was ever seen. The thief took an undisclosed amount of money before fleeing the restaurant, and luckily no one was injured. If you have any information on the case, you are asked to contact Sarasota County Crime Stoppers at the number listed on your screen. That's 866-634-TIPS. And remember, for the latest on local breaking news, don't forget to download the updated version of our new news app. If your current app is not working, that's because it has likely expired. Just go to the App Store and re-download it by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. Well, Floridians give billions of dollars to thousands of charities and nonprofit organizations every year, and while many are looking to do good this time of year by giving back, some scammers will be trying to take advantage. ABC 7's Erica Jackson joins us to explain how you can make sure your money is going into the right hands. Erica?
Thank you, Adam. Before donating to any organization, you can search through the Florida Department of Agriculture's Check a Charity website to make sure you're not getting scammed.
Bob Heaton and his band, The Savory Swing, are giving back to the community through the power of music.
How can we, as musicians who love to work, help the community? So of all the charities around, the food bank seemed to be the one that we all felt pretty good about.
The band performs 6 times a year in Sarasota. Fans pay $10 a ticket, with all the money going towards All Faiths Food Bank.
It benefits the disadvantaged of our community. There's many, many charities, but the most disadvantages are people who are hungry.
Still, Heaton says there are some who think twice before handing over cash for the donation.
I'm sure there are people that rip people off, but this is very legitimate.
Make sure your money is going to help those who need it most.
Officials with the Florida Attorney General's office say it may be hard to tell which organizations use donations for the services they advertise. Before forking over any cash, Attorney General spokesperson Whitney Ray suggests doing your homework.
If anyone does solicit you, ask a lot of questions. Ask them to send you a pledge form or for more information about their charity.
Also, watch out for similar sounding charities. Some scam artists may choose a name close to well-known charities to get you to donate. It's easier to avoid fake charities than it is to get your money back after falling victim to a scam.
Go ahead and give to an established charity, a well-known charity. That way, when you're solicited, you're not susceptible to any type of scam.
Heaton suggests protecting yourself by how you donate money.
If they're skeptical, just write a check to the All Faiths Food Bank, and it's got to go to them.
The Florida Department of Agriculture says to be careful while giving out your credit card number through phone or email. If a red flag goes up, ask that charity to mail you a pledge form. Legitimate charities shouldn't have a problem sending that over. Adam?
All right, thank you very much, Erica. Well, 2 very easy things to love, dogs and holidays, coming together earlier today in Sarasota. The annual Jingle Jubilee kicking off on the Suncoast today with an all-new location and date. The event featuring dozens of local pet-centric businesses, expanding its celebration with a move to Philippi Estate in Sarasota. That move to Sunday is also hopefully giving visitors a better opportunity to participate and bring food and pet supplies to be donated to local animal groups.
It's amazing how the people brighten up when they see dogs and other dogs, and they're friendly, and people go up and talk to each other. It's like a real sense of community.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love to see everybody loving their dogs. It's great.
Today's event also helped animals up for adoption find a new home. Always a pleasurable experience, especially for those new dog owners. Well, let's head over to Wendy Ross, a dog lover, for a first check on our local weather today, Wendy.
That just put a grin on my face from ear to ear. That is so exciting. At any rate, we are looking at partly cloudy to mostly fair skies right now, and we are going to continue to see these gorgeous temperatures, very mild outside. And of course, we've got the super moon. You might even be able to see it right now as we start to see those skies getting darker out there. The supermoon will appear 7% larger. It will also appear to be 16% brighter. It is the only full supermoon of 2017, but we will see a couple more coming up in the month of January, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, right here across our area, 69 degrees for us, winds out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour, and our current conditions right now all across Sarasota, Bradenton, Venice in the upper 60s, low 70s, so it's very comfortable out there. You may need a jacket if you stay outside for any length of time. We're seeing a couple of showers along the east coast, nothing much along the west coast. Things are nice and quiet for us, but we've got some changes coming just in time for this next weekend ahead, and we'll let you know what we can expect over the next couple of days. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Adam?
All right, thank you, Wendy. Well, yet another report has come out saying the Suncoast is one of the top places to live. This ranking based on happiness. The National Geographic finding some of the happiest Americans are living right here in Sarasota, Bradenton, and Northport. The publication listing our area as number 14 for the country's happiest cities, and it credits the area's art galleries, rose gardens, and exhibits as some of those main attractions. What about that one? The beach. Tourism officials say you just have to go outside to figure out why the Suncoast ranked in the top 25.
The beauty of the weather plays a big part of that. We also have the ecological parks that separate us from most other cities.
Boulder, Colorado ranked the happiest city in the country for its access to nature and development, and probably another reason. The only other city in Florida to make the list was Naples, which came in at number 11. Well, 4 men have been sent to federal prison for their roles in a Florida sweepstakes fraud scheme involving thousands of victims around the country. The Miami U.S. Attorney's Office says that the 4 were sentenced to prison after being convicted of mail fraud conspiracy charges. Prosecutors say they falsely notified people by mail that they had won a substantial prize and that the recipients had to pay a fee of between $20 and $50 to claim those winnings. The fraudulent letters told victims to pay those fees in cash or by check or money order, payable to fictitious companies. But the money ended up going to the defendants. About 100,000 people fell victim to this scheme. A busy weekend in Washington with the stunning developments surrounding President Trump's former national security advisor and the passing of a massive tax overhaul. But as ABC's David Wright reports from Washington, as the investigation into Russia's alleged interference in last year's election comes closer to his presidency, President Trump is now fighting back.
President Trump weighed in Sunday on the investigation that threatens to unravel his presidency. The special counsel's probe into Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election and possible collusion with Trump campaign officials. Today, Trump tweeted, "I never asked Comey to stop investigating Flynn." That tweet rebutting last spring's sworn testimony by fired FBI Director James Comey that Trump had asked him to go easy on his investigation into Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn.
I understood him to be saying that what he wanted me to do was drop any investigation connected to Flynn's account of his conversations with the Russians.
President Trump not only disputes that, he accuses Comey of running the Bureau into the ground. After years of Comey running the FBI, its reputation is in tatters. Worst in history, he tweeted. On Friday, special counsel Robert Mueller's probe extracted a guilty plea from Flynn for lying to the FBI about his conversations with the Russian ambassador. Flynn pled guilty to a felony, his sentence reduced in exchange for his continued cooperation in building a case. Some believe that probe is now zeroing in on Trump and his inner circle for possible obstruction of justice, for reportedly telling Comey to back off.
I think what we're beginning to see is the putting together of a case of obstruction of justice.
Here's Newsmax CEO and Trump ally Christopher Ruddy's take on the latest developments.
My view is that Robert Mueller poses an existential threat to the Trump presidency.
But the president continues to fight back. David Wright, ABC News, Washington.
Well, still to come here on ABC 7, several injured during a fatal disturbance in New York. What the NYPD says they're on the lookout for following that incident. And a demolition fail, what officials says comes next for a stadium that just refuses to come down.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA has recently warned about an increased risk of leg and foot amputations associated with the use of certain diabetic medications such as Invokana and Invokamet. If you or a loved one took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation, ketoacidosis, kidney failure, or even death, call the Rely On Group now. We are here to help you get the justice you deserve. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-355-8205. That's 800-355-8205.
America. Drug addiction is plaguing our great country. Every minute of every day, one of our citizens is rushed to the emergency room with a drug overdose. Many will never leave, never see the dawn of a new tomorrow in our great nation. Call Make America Sober Again now, before this disease destroys your family, your friends, your country. If you or someone you know is struggling with a drug or alcohol addiction, make the next minute in your life count. Make America Sober Again is committed to connecting you with someone compassionate and caring to help you right now. Call now and be connected to a treatment center in our network. Call Make America Sober Again now.
Call 800-793-6592. That's 800-793-6592.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
Welcome back. One person is dead and several others injured after a large disturbance in the New York City borough of Queens. Officials say one person was already dead when first responders arrived on scene early this morning. They believe that person and 5 others were struck by a car. 2 others suffered stab wounds, bringing the total number of injured to 8. Police are currently investigating. So far, they have 1 person in custody for questioning, but they say they're looking for the driver of a white Hyundai Sonata that fled the scene. The NYPD says the incident is not being investigated as a terror attack. The Pontiac Silverdome was scheduled for Implosion this morning, but things did not exactly go as planned. Explosives placed on steel beams around the stadium went off just after 8:30 a.m., but the structure, as you can see, did not come down. An official remarking that they would have to let gravity finish the job. The 82,000-seat stadium used to be home to the Detroit Lions from 1975 to 2001 and the Detroit Pistons from 1978 to 1988. So you could be walking around town and a giant stadium may collapse in the next couple of days.
I know,
hopefully.
they're so much fun to watch, isn't it true?
It is cool,
It's just fun to watch that whole thing. You know, I love that story about us being a happy place to be.
Yeah.
I run into that all the time. I meet people all the time from other parts of the country who are moving here, coming here, and they love being here. Our weather is fantastic,
Yeah,
and of course our beaches are pretty great.
They're okay.
Oh my goodness, and today was just another example of how wonderful it is this time of the year. We had lots and lots of sunshine out there today. Tonight, it is going to be a moonlit sky. You're going to be able to really see things quite well, and the moon will appear to be about 7% larger, and also we're expecting it to look about 16% brighter. This is a supermoon that's going to be taking place tonight, and you should be able to see it a little bit later on. So that's what we're going to be experiencing for the rest of the evening. We've got partly cloudy skies to fair skies out there. We have mild temperatures as well, and of course we're also looking at that super moon. When you go outside, you'll notice it. In the meantime, we've got all of this cloudy weather across the northwestern part of the country, and you'll notice mostly fair skies along the eastern seaboard, and we have high pressure across the central part of the nation that's helping to provide the fair skies that we're seeing here. But we also have much colder weather that is getting ready to infiltrate our area starting Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this upcoming week. And all that cold air is bottled up here. You can see some snow and ice up in this part of the nation, and it's eventually going to be spreading on down across the country and make its way here. But in the meantime, we're looking at very mild conditions. We had a little bit of cloudiness to our north. We had a couple of rain showers dotting the east coast earlier today, and some of those showers are going to try to spread over to the west coast by tomorrow, but we may just get a dot of rain here and there, and that's going to be about it. We're going to be seeing another beautiful day on tap. So here's that high pressure system I'm talking about. We've got the low pressure area moving off towards the Atlantic, and here's the next cold front, and this is the one that's going to be sweeping on in across the country and eventually making its way into our area, and we are going to see daytime highs in the 60s on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that's what our overnight lows have been like, so it's going to be chilly. So what we're looking at is today we got up to a high of 78. 58 was the overnight low. 75 is normally where we are. So we've been above normal all weekend, and overnight lows have been in the mid-50s for the most part. So 69 degrees for us right now under fair skies. We have our humidity at 78%, and the winds, they're coming in out of the northwest at around 6 miles per hour. And you can see the temperatures right now are either in the 60s or low 70s, and that's being felt from the beaches all the way inland. And as we move farther to the south, just a little bit warmer in Northport, 74 degrees right now. If you're heading off to the beach tomorrow, the winds start out of the east, shift around towards the north at around 10 knots, seas 1 to 2 feet, with a light chop out on the bay and inland waters. And tonight, mostly fair skies, 62 for the overnight low is what we can expect. And this is what we're going to be looking at over the next several days. Those temperatures staying in the 80s, but the cooler weather starts to come on in, and probably a little mix of rain as well. Adam?
Now, sports.
College football playoffs are set. The playoff committee announcing that the 4 teams that will be playing for a national championship, though not without some controversy, of course. It's Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Alabama, the 4 teams in this year. They will all play on New Year's Day. Georgia against Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl, and Alabama-Clemson will meet for the 3rd straight year in the playoffs, though this time not in the national championship itself. Bama makes it in over 2 conference champions, Ohio State and USC, without even playing in the SEC championship.
I certainly believed and trusted in the integrity of the committee, that they would do their very best to put the best teams in. I really do believe that based on a total body of work, that our team really deserved the opportunity to be in, and we're very pleased and happy that they did.
This is the first time the college football playoffs will feature 2 teams from the same conference. And here's a look at some other notable games. Miami will be facing number 6 Wisconsin on December 30th in Miami for the Orange Bowl. Undefeated UCF will test their mettle against the SEC runner-up Auburn in the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day. And 9-2 South Florida facing the 6-win Red Raiders from Texas Tech in the Birmingham Bowl on December 23rd. And FSU in a bowl for a record 36th straight year, the Independence Bowl on December 27th. They will face Southern Mississippi. Well, Jameis Winston returning for the Bucs today against the Packers. First start since Week 9, but the Bucs have gone 2-1 with backup Ryan Fitzpatrick in his absence. First quarter, Winston getting some help from Cameron Brate with the one-handed grab. It's touchdown Tampa Bay, and they take a 7-0 lead on the road. But it wasn't all good for Jameis. Down 10-7 in the second quarter under duress. Winston going to make a terrible throw. Ends up being a fumble scooped up by Dean Lowry, who takes it the other way for a Packers touchdown. And that's the Jameis that we've seen over the last couple of years, the back and forth. Well, this one would go into overtime, tied 20-20. Packers with the ball first, and on his first carry of the game, Aaron Jones goes 20 yards for the walk-off touchdown. Packers win at 26-20. Winston 21 for 32 for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns in his return. Dolphins Broncos in Miami today. 2 former Broncos, Jay Cutler and Julius Thomas, connecting for that 9-yard touchdown and an early lead. Trevor Siemian back in at quarterback for Denver, picked off by Xavier Howard, who returns it for a touchdown. 16-3 Dolphins. And up 19-3 in the third, Kenyon Drake able to run right through some traffic for a 42-yard touchdown scamper. Miami also notching 2 safeties in this game. They bounced the Broncos 35-9 down in Miami Gardens. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons: leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. They send out devastating letters, garnish paychecks, and even put liens on your home or business. You may have heard of it. It's called enforced compliance. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms and can negotiate a tax settlement with the IRS. It's that simple. And if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars, finally ending your financial stress. Now is the time for a fresh start. Now is the time to call Tax 10,000. 800-699-3188. That's 800-699-3188. Call now.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
A charitable event for thrill seekers, raising money for the Special Olympics this week in Louisiana. People who donated $1,000 or more had the opportunity to rappel 25 stories down the side of a New Orleans building on Friday. That seems like more of a punishment to me than a reward. Participants who qualified also had the opportunity to take a helicopter ride and a SWAT train at the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Training Facility.
It's pretty awesome, stepping off the side of a building that, you know, I pass every day going to work. Yeah, do it again in a minute.
Now, that fundraiser, which has been held annually for about a decade, typically raises close to $100,000 every year. That money goes to providing year-round sports training and athletic competition for the children and adults with intellectual disabilities. Disney Pixar's Coco topping the U.S. box office once again this weekend. The animated comedy, which focuses on Mexico's Day of the Dead holiday, brought in just over $26 million in its second weekend of release, bringing its total haul to nearly $109 million in just 12 days. Justice League taking second with $16.5 million, while Wonder from Lionsgate Studios continuing to perform well, bringing in $12.5 million. It was the biggest post-Thanksgiving weekend for the box office in 5 years. But probably not here on the Sun Coast, because, I mean, our weekends have been just great.
Oh, they've been too great. Now, I would do that thing that she was doing on the building.
What?
Oh, gosh, yes. I
No
love heights.
way.
Love heights. I would do that. If I knew I was safely harnessed up and all the rest, oh, I would have no problem
way.
with that.
No
You
chance.
would?
Even if I did know that I was safely harnessed and everything.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
that
doing
would be
it.
fun. I would
No
like
shot.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Would
I
you
could
pay
do it
money
on
to
The
do it?
View, or I could do it on the Ritz-Carlton. No problem.
She's offering her talents.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds like fun.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.